can't get that one to go. Rebounded by Mitzi. Mitzi puts it in.
Beat gets it. We're going to go up on Joy, and it's good off the glass.
Morgan, Sammy Ashton all alone for the quick lay-in.
Buster with the deep two, and it's good. Connell has the ball at bounce, passes it into Grigo for three, and that's 1,000 points. Go.
Hello and welcome to high school boys basketball. Tonight we have Old Saybrook with the Blue Devils, I believe. The Rams, the Old Saybrook Rams versus the Haddam Killingworth Cougars. We are looking at the starting lineups right now for both teams, and we are now going to start with the national anthem. All right, and we are back. So we've just heard the starting lineups for both teams, and they are looking to get ready now. Wally, you are here with us tonight. I'm Connor Shute, by the way, and this is Wally Sample.
Hello, I am Wally Sample, as Connor Shute just said. So we are in for a very interesting basketball game tonight.
Yes, we are. And with starting lineups, already it appears that the Rams may be taking some students from JV, from their JV team. So, which is quite interesting.
That also seems to be the case, though, also for HK.
All right, so they're ready for the tip-off. It will be number 3 of Old Saybrook versus 40 of Haddam Killingworth.
Ball's in Old Saybrook possession.
Number 14, Henderson, passes to number 3. Back to Henderson. The outside of 10. He goes for the drive. He's in the paint. He goes for the layup. Rebounded.
Grabbed by number 35, Toby Callender. Thrown to Darren Hiller. Now Kewen has the ball. Loose a little bit, and then thrown to Darren. Bounces off the rim, and it's no good. Rams now have possession of the ball.
Number 10 passes to number 3 to 11 on the outside. He takes a shot from the 3. The rebounds to HK.
Number 25, Matthew Wills, drives down the court, looking for someone open, and throws it to Kewen. Kewen driving into the paint, taking a shot. It's no good, bouncing off the rim, but rebounded by Toby Callender. Now it's loose, rolling on the ground, and it's the Rams' ball.
Number 11, Almada, has the ball. Passes to 10. He considered the shot, but now he's just, tries to pass, unsuccessful. Picked up again by Old Saybrook. Number 2 goes for the layup. Rebounds to HK.
Now Hiller is driving down the court looking for someone open. Slowly working his way to the outside and throwing it back to the middle to Wills. Wills now having a double dribble. This will be Rams' ball.
Ball is being turned over to number 3. He passes in to Almada. He's standing towards the middle, waiting for something to happen. Passes quickly to 10. Passes to 3. 10 takes a shot from the 3. Unsuccessful. Rebounds to HK.
Matthew Wills quickly driving down the court and throwing to number 5 while other team is back, and that's the first score of the game. HK 2, Rams 0.
So the Rams have number 14 with the ball. He goes for the drive, passes back out, takes a shot from the 3. Rebounds again to 25 of HK.
Matt Wills
Pattern.
really using his speed to get down the court, but now is surrounded by Rams. Throws it to number 5, who drives into the paint and makes a good layup. HK 4, Rams 0. And that's going to be the first time out of the quarter.
Well, from what we saw already, it's a very soon to call a timeout. But what we saw was the Rams taking shots from the 3 and just not making them. They've had so many more attempted shots than HK has, but they haven't made them yet.
They almost just the way they're playing just seems to be a little bit less aggressive, and they're trying to play a bit more passively, so kind of playing a slower game and just kind of sitting back and taking their shots rather than driving into the paint and scoring. And that's what seems to be working for HK right now, just being really aggressive and getting into the paint and making it work.
And the thing about Old Saybrook is that while they might take their time in setting up, they pass and spin fast.
Oh, that is definitely true.
Almada passes to 14, goes for the layup. Unsuccessful, rebounds to HK.
Number 35, Toby Callender, got that rebound and threw it to Matt Wills. And that's going to be a penalty on HK.
Number 11 of Old Saybrook has the ball. Passes to 10. To 14. Goes for the drive, makes it in the paint, passes back out, takes a shot from the 3. Rebounds. 14 goes for a close shot, and the foul is called. The shot will be taken number 14, Henderson. Foul was on 35 of HK. He makes the first. Makes the second.
Hey, that's gonna make the score Cougars 4, Rams 2. Darren Hiller's now driving down the court, using his speed to his advantage and throwing it out to Matt Wills. Matt Wills makes the hoop, and it makes it 6-2 HK.
Now, what we saw there was Hiller doing a very quick pass between the legs. It almost looked from here. Oh, we have a tumble. Number 2 falls to the ground.
Definitely is using his speed to his advantage. Hiller passing to Toby Callender, and there's a brief bobble, and it is out on HK.
Number 14 has the ball. He goes for the drive. Oh, almost out of bounds. Number 10 passes back into number 2, Baker. 14 almost made a shot from the 3. Then he passes He goes right inside the lines and makes 2 points.
Ball now in the hands of Hiller. Taking his time driving up the court, trying to set something up. And he's going to throw it to 40 in the paint, goes up, and that's good for 2 for HK. There seems to be an injury on the court.
We're looking at number 3 of Old Saybrook.
It appears to be some type of ankle injury. We will get back to that.
He's attempting to walk it off. It looks like he's just going to sit down and be subbed in for number 1, Seekin Jansen. Seekin Jansen will be throwing in.
And it's going to be Rams ball.
This is number 11. He goes for the drive, tosses it up, it rolls and rolls in.
Ball back in the hands of Hiller. Really taking his time to get down the court. Throwing it to Toby Callender in the paint. Matt Wills going up, and that's good for 2. Making the score 10-6 HK.
And the crowd roars.
Also appears to be has been a foul in the play, so now Wills now gets 2 foul shots. Let's see what he can make of them. Getting ready for the shot. Goes up, and that's good. So that makes the score 11-6 HK.
Number 14 has the ball, passes out to 10. Goes for the drive. He tries to toss up. Goes to Matt Wills.
Briefly in HK's hands, and now ball is back in Rams' possession.
The Rams go for another toss-up to be stolen by Matt Wills.
Matthew Wills now driving down the court. In the paint, getting stuck. Throwing back out to number 5, Kewen. And that's good for 3. Making the score 14-6 HK.
With both teams having an even record so far, it's quite interesting to see HK pull forward. Number 14 of Old Saybrook has the ball. Molsky has it, passes to Almada. Goes for the drive, tosses up, but unsuccessful. Foul.
Appears to be on HK.
Almada takes his first shot. Substitutions for HK. Almada goes for the second. And he's successful.
Hiller once again with the ball, working his way down the court, now just passing the midline. Throws it to Wills. Wills with the deep shot and misses. Now it's in Rams' possession, driving down the court.
Molsky is bringing the ball really close, passes back out to Baker. To Almada, who tosses it up, but unsuccessful
Rebounded
rebound
by
to HK.
Hiller. Hiller driving down the court very quickly. Throwing to number 11. 11 now to Wills. Wills driving into the paint. Back to 11. Will with a deep shot, and it's no good. Wills scrambling, trying to get the ball. But
Ball
now it's in
instead
Rams'
goes
possession.
to Molsky of Old Saybrook, who runs up and tosses the ball in the net. Score is 14-10.
Hiller throwing to number 11 now, throws it to Wills. Wills driving into the paint, goes up, and that's good for 2 with a solid layup with Wills, making the score 16-10 HK.
Henderson has the ball. Passes to 11. Back to Henderson. Almost loses it. Takes a shot from the 3. Rebounds to Matt Wills of HK.
Wills taking his time getting down the court, staying around the three-point line, throwing to Trey in the paint. Trey Callender going up, almost getting the rebound, but it's going with Ram.
Ball will be tossed. Substitution from HK.
Substitution for number 40, 34, Zach Kaufman is now out on the court.
Baker and Almada will be bringing the ball down the court for Old Saybrook. And they start again at the halfway point because of a clock error.
Brief clock confusion.
14 goes for the drive. Trips, but tosses it up unsuccessfully. A foul is called. On number 11. Baker takes a shot, rebounds to 14 of Old Saybrook, tries again. Ball
Trey Callender rebounding, throwing at number 5, Andrew Kewen. Kewen now trying to throw it to Wills, but intercepted by Ram.
Old Saybrook, number 14, Henderson, just gives it the layup in the last 8 seconds. 34 takes a shot from the 3. And that's just the first quarter.
Connor, what are you seeing out there?
I'm seeing a high school boys basketball game.
Aren't we all?
Now, something interesting is these teams being equally matched, and we'll get into this more later around halftime, but both of teams have records, similar records of 4-3. But there's obviously a close competition here, and maybe we'll try to find some differences as we look later on.
So far, a big glaring difference I've seen in this first quarter at least is that all the points that HK has gotten, they've gotten them really quickly. They haven't had the ball in their possession for very long. It's very quick. They drive down the court and they score, and that's that. The Old Saybrook Rams seem to take a lot of take their time to do their scoring, and it's really kind of draining the clock. But both of these strategies seem to be putting up very similar points, so it's going to be very interesting to see if one of these strategies kind of pulls away from the other.
From what we're looking at, we can obviously tell that the ball is the players are spending a lot more time towards the HK basket, where the Rams would be taking their shots and trying to make their points.
Definitely. The Old Saybrook really does seem to have a lot more possession, at least in this first quarter.
I agree completely. They've had so much of the ball, they're down by 4 points. And
I think that can really be credited, though, to number 24, Darren Hiller, really using his speed.
Yes, definitely.
He's able to get the ball, and if Old Saybrook's taking their time getting down the court, he's already at the basket. He's really using his speed, and there's been a couple instances where he's beat Old Saybrook's defense down there.
And it's definitely helped us understand as to why he has a cardboard cut out of his face in the crowd tonight.
I definitely agree. Him using his speed definitely does not seem to be a new occurrence. Ball's back now into play. Kewen passing to number 31 now to Wills. Wills in the paint going up for a shot and misses. Rebounded by Wills, however, again. And the ball is loose. Toby Callender with it. Wills once again in the paint with it and misses. Rebounded by Old Saybrook, however.
Old Saybrook Baker passes to Molsky, goes for a layup, unsuccessful. Number 1 takes a shot from the 3, rebounds. Back to the 3-point line. Number 11 goes for the drive. We're looking at a shooting foul. Oh, never mind. The ball will just be going to Molsky of Old Saybrook. Molsky passes to 14. Henderson goes for the drive, passes back out to Molsky, to Almada, who passes to Baker, who takes a shot, unsuccessful rebounds.
Rebound by HK, number 5. Andrew Kewen really using his speed to get down the court, throwing to Hiller. Hiller driving into the paint, taking a shot, and it's no good. However, a rebound by Hiller again, taking another shot, and it is rebounded by Old Saybrook.
Ball is now in Almada's hands of Old Saybrook. Passes to 14. Passes all the way across to number 10, to 14, who's in the paint. He loose ball, but it goes to Baker of Old Saybrook. Back to 14, who has now regained his steps. Takes a shot from the 3. Rebounds to Old Saybrook. 14 goes for the drive, takes a shot just inside the 3-point line. Bringing the score 16 to 14.
Hiller passing to Kewen. Kewen looking for someone open. That happens to be Hiller once again. Passing into the paint and back out. Kewen driving in. Hiller taking a deep shot. And that's good for 3 for HK, making the score 19 to 14.
14 of Old Saybrook has the ball. Number 11 takes a shot, but crowd mocks the foul. The ball will go to the white team.
Kewen passing into the paint to Wills. Wills backing out and taking a shot. That's good for 2, making score HK 21, Old Saybrook 14.
Number 11 has the ball. He goes for the drive, passes back out to 14. 14 goes for the drive into the line, passes to 52, goes back to him. Henderson takes a shot, is successful, 21 to 16.
Hiller making a deep pass to Wills. Wills driving into the paint, passing it out to 31 Flag. Flag missing a shot. Now in Old Saybrook
Ball is
possession.
now in Old Saybrook's hands. Number 14, heavy hitter to 11, who goes for the layup. That's successful. In these past couple plays, Almada and Henderson of Old Saybrook have been going heavy.
Hiller with the ball, passing it to Wills in the paint. Wills taking a shot, and it's just short. Toby now with the ball trapped. And that's going to be a foul on Old Saybrook.
So we got some shots for HK to widen the gap.
Toby Callender getting ready to take his foul shot. Goes down. Ball is up. And it's good. He has one more now. Let's see what he can do with it. He goes up. And it's no good. However, rebounded by HK. Kewen passing it back to Callender. Driving to the paint, making a layup. However, after some confusion in the crowd amongst the refs and coaches, it seems to have not been good with Rams ball.
Right, so we're looking at a travel foul. Ball is going to 14 rebounds and a missed shot.
Wills giving a little fake out, goes up into the paint and takes a shot, and that's good.
Number 2 takes a shot, but the whistle is blown. Two shots will be going to Cameron Baker, number 2 of Old Saybrook.
Number 32, Giambana is coming on, replacing number 24, Hiller.
Baker takes the second shot. Rebounds to HK.
Rebounded by Kewen, throwing it right over the head of Giambanas.
The ball will be for Old Saybrook. Henderson goes to the drive to pass to 11. Almada, who takes a shot from the 3.
Ball now in 11's possession, throwing to number 5, Andrew Kewen. Andrew Kewen looking for work, throwing it to Giambanas. Giambanas back to number 5. Kewen now throwing to 11. 11 back to Kewen. Just kind of passing to see how this defense responds. Giambanas now with the ball, throwing it to number 25, Wills, but it's knocked out of bounds. It's going to be HK's ball.
All right. As soon as the teams conglomerate around the net.
Wills with the ball, throwing it out to Giambanas. Giambanas taking a deep shot, and it's no good. However, it's rebounded by 25, Matthew Wills. And that's going to be a blue foul. It's going to stay in HK's possession. Throwing it into Giambanas, back to Kewen. Kewen taking a deep shot, and it's no good. Rebounded by number 35, Toby Calendar, who makes the layup, and that's good for 2 points, making the score HK 26, Old Saybrook 21. Still a very close game.
Yes, Almada of Old Saybrook has the ball now. He goes for the drive, sees it open. Ball's kicked out.
That foul is going to be against number 11, on number 11 of Old Saybrook.
Number 11 of Old Saybrook, Almada, will be taking.
HK's number 11 has been subbed out for number 24, Darren Hiller.
First shot is very successful. Second shot lands even more perfectly.
Darren Hiller with the ball. Throwing to number 5, Andrew Kewen. Andrew Kewen throwing to Giambanas. Giambanas trying to drive in, but it's not working. Throwing to Wills. After a brief skirmish, whistle was blown, and it's going to be HK's ball. Little under 3 minutes left in the game, or in this quarter. Will's taking a shot, and it's no good, bouncing right off the rim.
Ball is back in Michael Almada's hands to 14. Henderson, who takes a shot, unsuccessful layup, rebounded
by number 35, Toby Calendar, throwing it to number 24, Darren Hiller. Hiller to Wills. Wills driving in and passing it directly to an Old Saybrook.
Henderson goes for the layup this time again and is successful with no defense to block him.
Saybrook defense playing very aggressive. Darren Hiller now throwing it to Wills. Wills back to Hiller. Hiller buying himself time, throwing to Giambanas. Giambanas is now surrounded. Trying to throw it out to Hiller. Hiller taking a deeper shot. And that is good for a 3. HK 29, Old Saybrook 25.
Almada is getting tired, it seems, but he's still playing at the top of his game. Passes to Henderson. Passes back to Almada, takes a shot from the 3. Rebounds to HK.
Toby Calendar with the rebound, throwing to number 24, Hiller. Wills now has possession of the ball, slowly working his way in, throwing to number 5, Andrew Kewen. Driving in, Wills taking a shot, and it's no good. However, it's rebounded by number 35, Toby Calendar. Foul is called, and it's going to be Old Saybrook's ball.
Number 3 will have the ball. To 14. Henderson takes a shot from the 3. Rebounds to HK.
Rebound by Toby Callender, throwing it to Hiller. Hiller throwing it to Wills. Wills throwing it real far to to Kewen, now to Giambonis. Now back to Kewen, now into Hiller. Hiller throwing, almost getting a 3, but now it's rebounded by Old Saybrook. HK Cougar Den seems to be disagreeing with that call. However, it's the call that's on the court.
Yeah, Amada will be taking foul shots.
First one is good.
Substitutions made for both teams. Noticeably from Old Saybrook, second Janin will be coming in, number 1.
Number 34, Zach Hoffman's now on the court. Hiller now with the ball, using his speed, driving in, but now has to go back out and throw into Wills. It's going to be a foul on blue. Wills now gets...
That will be Molsky, number 10,
I was going to say an HK
first
possession.
foul.
Number 5, Andrew Kewen with the throw and throw into Wills, who passes to Hiller. Hiller driving in, back out to Kewen. Kewen taking a deep shot, and it's no good. Rebounded by Old Saybrook.
Number 1 passes to 11 to 14. Oh, to 10. He makes a successful shot.
10 was wide open for that shot.
It was wide open, yes.
Just over 20 seconds left in this first half. Let's see if HK can do anything with that last 20 seconds. However, HK does seem to be taking their time. Kewen throwing it to Hiller. Hiller just dribbling around, just trying to buy time. Ball is now in Old Saybrook possession.
Takes the shot from the 3. It rims right as the buzzer.
Good. And that's going to leave the score.
Oh.
HK 29, Old Saybrook 28.
That is quite what we're looking at right now.
I don't think the game could get any closer if you tried.
It could get closer. It could be 29-29.
That is true, but all this is highlighting, though, is that these teams are very evenly matched.
Yeah, like we said, and like we said we're going to get into later, is in terms of schedule, they're both 4-3 right now, with, for Old Saybrook, recently coming off of Hale Ray, which was a win by 30 points, Westbrook, which was a win by 20 points, Coggenshaw, which was a win by 10 points. Quite interesting. They are having some large win margins right there, and coming up for them will be Valley Regional on Friday and Portland on Tuesday. How about for HK?
HK, they actually just recently played Valley Regional. That was their most recent game. However, they did lose against them. However, they did, before that, play Coggenshaw, where they won 59-57, another very close game. Games you can expect for the HK Cougars coming up. They're playing Cromwell Tuesday the 22nd, away at Cromwell. However, their next 2 games against Wheeler and Morgan are home. So those are going to be some very interesting games.
So what we have definitely is, while they might have the same wins and losses, we also have a much larger margins for Old Saybrook. But is it showing true with HK being in the lead for most of this game?
That is true. They actually have been in the lead for the entire first half.
All right.
However, even though now it's just by 1 point, it's been a very back and forth kind of game. Neither team in either quarter kind of ran away with it. So it's going to be very interesting to see how both these teams play when they get tired in the second half.
So we will come back to you later, but for now, let's hear about our in-part sponsor, Zippo 6.
called Dear Mister. Dear Mr. Congressman, I'm writing you today with so many questions I hope that you can say. You're working hard, I'm feeling really tired after actually doing something today, because I can't take it anymore of your breaking down. No, I won't take it. So put away your pride and get working. Dear Mr. Senator, I'm trying to understand why fear and hate are the tools of your command. Maybe this year you'll make less of a mess and actually callous your hands, because I can't take it anymore of your breaking down. No, I won't take it. So put away your pride and get working. And Mr. Governor, you're only human, but you act like you answer to no one. Well, look now, we're asking questions. If I were Neil Young, I'd ignore you by singing la 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 da, la la da da da. Oh, I'll sing la 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 da, la la da da da. Dear Mr. President, during your campaign, I thought you could start the sun and stop the rain. Well, please stand strong and please work hard, and I'll do the singing for change. Oh, I'll sing la la da da, la da 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 da. Oh, I'll sing la la da da, la da 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 da, because I can't take it anymore of your breaking down. No, I won't take it. So put away your pride and get working, yeah. Just put away your pride and get working. Oh, put away your pride and get working, yeah. Just put away your pride and get working.
All right, and we are back with high school boys basketball. Today we have Haddam Killingworth versus Old Saybrook. So, Wally, what have we seen from the players so far?
I'm really seeing HK using their speed to their advantage. I keep saying it, but it's really what I'm seeing. They're really using their speed to kind of outmaneuver the Old Saybrook Rams. However, the Old Saybrook Rams offense is just meticulous when they're on their side of the court with possession. They really are just making the HK defense move around, and they're really finding holes in the defense. But when it comes to offense, HK Cougars are really driving fast and hard, and it's hard to defend against that.
Yeah, for both teams, and you can definitely attribute that to specific players. From HK, it's obviously been Hiller, right?
Yeah, but number 11 from Old Saybrook, Armada, he's also using his speed and shooting capability. He's really doing a big dent on the Cougars.
And he's exactly who I wanted to talk about. What we've been seeing from number 10, Almada, he's been playing almost the whole time for the entire game so far, entire first half. And as we saw in the end, he's looking pretty tired. He was getting red at the end and sweaty, and as he comes back, he's the only Old Saybrook player to have a towel as they retake the court. But what we see is he's done a lot, and so has number 10 and number 14 from Old Saybrook. Those three players have been, I think, their top three right now. What about for HK?
Quick fun fact, however, number 11 Armada actually plays football, and it could really quite possibly give him that stamina that's really showing out on the court.
Yeah, he's been out there the whole time.
Yeah, he's really been He's been out there every single play. He hasn't gotten much of a break, so it's a hell of a player. It's really good. Really prominent HK players right now, I'd have to say number 25, Matthew Wills. He's really using his height and jumping ability to just kind of snag any rebounds that are even close to him. And Toby Callender, very similar story, using his height to really just snag anything that's underneath the hoop. And it's really giving HK a lot of second chances on botched shots. And as we did talk about earlier, Hiller, he's just using his speed to just really wear down this Old Saybrook's offense and defense.
And with his backup being, I believe, number 5, Kewen, they've both been, putting up that position, holding it up.
And they're both quite equally fast. It's not like you put a sub in and it's just kind of like easier for the other team. No, they've been really having to deal with 2 very fast players, sometimes on the court at the same time.
Yeah, and it's been scary. You can be scared for both teams of your opponents and what they're capable of.
And as you can tell from the score, they are very evenly matched. So for every player that they have an equally good player on the other team, and it's really, really showing.
Yes, that is definitely true. And with HK having tonight's home advantage, they have quite been active in trying to throw off, things from foul shots or passes.
Yeah, the Cougar Den, as it's called, is really, almost want to say heckling a little bit, but it's definitely a home court advantage.
Quite an interesting what we've seen. But now we're looking for the start of the second half.
Second half is going to start with HK possession, number 25, Matthew Wills. Passing to Kewen. Driving in and throwing back to Wills, taking a deep shot. Bouncing off the rim and rebounded by Old Saybrook.
Old Saybrook number 10. Oh! What we looked is Kewen taking the fall in number 10, Molsky's drive. Ends up getting the ball overturned.
Yeah, number 5 was able to draw the foul, and now it's going to be HK's ball. Kewen taking a deep shot, but it's no good, but rebounded by Wills. That's going to be a shooting foul against Old Saybrook. Wills is now going to take his foul shots. Wills getting ready. Ball is up. And it is good. Wills getting ready for a second. Ball is up. And it's good again, making the score 31-28. HK scoring early in this first half, or second half.
Almada has the ball, passes out to number 1. Back to Almada, who's around the middle, passes to number 10. Passes to the outside, number 2, who takes a shot from apparently the 3. And that's Baker. Giving
Scores
2
back
points.
within 1 point within each other. And now Kewen's looking for someone open, looking for some work. That's going to be 40. 40 back to Kewen. Kewen now to Wills. Wills back to Kewen. Kewen now taking a shot from the 3, and it's no good. Rebounded by Old Saybrook.
Old Saybrook number 14 is the ball. He just tosses it out of bounds.
Almost seemed like he was trying to pass it to the ref.
Yeah. That was Henderson, number 14, attempting to pass to the ref.
That's what we'll call that. Giambonet's ready to come in for a substitution, but that's not happening yet. Kewen with the ball, driving and throwing it to Wills. Wills trying to use his height, throwing it over. And now Kewen with the layup, misses, and it's rebounded by Old Saybrook. But it's snagged by Hiller, who goes up and misses. And now the ball really is staying in Old Saybrook possession.
Henderson brings it down the court, takes a shot from in the paint, and it's successful.
Old Saybrook is now up by 2 points. First time this has happened in this game so far. Kewin throwing to Wills. Wills almost scoring, but it's no good.
Henderson with the ball again, brings it to the paint, goes for the layup, unsuccessful, rebounds, gets it again. And there will still be foul shots taken by Jack Molsky.
The old Saybrook offense is really now coming out here a lot more aggressive than they did the first half. They're really making their shots and playing a lot more aggressively than they did.
Or maybe it's just that they're on different sides. Who knows?
I mean, maybe running one way is a little bit easier than running the other one.
Maybe there's an incline. Who knows? Like we said. But timeout time. The HK coach is being very loud, apparent, and we also have the crowd with Darren Hiller's face
on a sign.
The HK team is bringing in quite a few amount of students to come support their home team. But from the other side, the HK coach is being quite aggressive with his players. We don't know exactly what he's talking about, but from what we can tell, they're trying to make their strategy. This is the first time they have not been in the lead this game.
And just in my personal opinion, they just kind of need to go back to what they were doing the first half. It was working against their opponent's defense, and they just kind of need to go back to it. Old Saybrook hasn't really changed their defensive strategy up that much, so they just kind of need to go back to what was working and have confidence in themselves.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens for the next 5 minutes and 45 seconds of this quarter. But so far, that's our update. Number 10.
Now we're going back to the 2 foul shots.
Yes. Number 10, Molsky was taking 2 foul shots. It's unsuccessful. But the ball will be overturned.
After a brief struggle between 25 and number 2 from Old Saybrook, it's going to be white possession. Ball being passed to Giambanis. Wills with the ball throwing to Kewin. Back to Giambanis. Giambanis taking a deep shot from and that's good for 3. Making the score HK 34, Old Saybrook 35.
It's getting closer and closer. Maybe that strategy that HK made is working.
We'll just have to wait and find out.
Number 1 takes a shot from the 3 from Old Saybrook. It rebounds, goes to Hiller.
Hiller now passing to Kewin. Kewin working his way down the court and throwing it back to Hiller. Hiller driving in, throwing out to Wills. Wills going up, and it's no good.
Ooh, there appears to be an injury.
2 seems to be injured.
Cameron Baker.
He's just going to walk it off.
Is he going to get substituted out?
He's not.
It appears not.
He's gonna. Seems probably just like a trolley horse of some sort.
Yeah.
And he's just gonna keep playing.
So an act of dedication. Old Saybrook now has the ball. Amada passes to 10. This is to 14. Henderson. Henderson goes for the drive. He's in the paint. Puts it up and is successful.
.14 with foul shot.
Henderson will be taking the foul shot. Rebounds.
And it is no good. Rebounded by number 14.
Number 11, Omada, has the ball. He drives into the paint. Passes. They shoot. And Baker, who had just been recently on the ground, is now back up scoring points for Old Saybrook.
It's not going to be HK's ball. Kewin now throwing to Giambanis. Giambanis taking another shot, and it's close, but not close enough.
Old Saybrook shoots for a 3, unsuccessful, but number 10 goes for a layup and it rebounds.
It's gonna be a blue foul. HK's ball. Subs coming on. Number 35, Toby Callender going on for Wills.
We're 1 and 52 switching out for Old Saybrook.
And number 40, McGoey coming on for number 5, Andrew Keelan. Sam Erskine with the ball, throwing to Giambonis. Giambonis taking another shot, and it's no good, bouncing off the rim. That's going to be Old Saybrook's possession.
Number 11 taking a long shot and goes for a layup and is successful. That pass was from very far away.
That was a really good play by Old Saybrook.
Really good play. And like I just mentioned, that pass, that was a long pass.
That was a very long pass to Armada. And he really knew what to do with it when he got there.
He knew what to do with it. He put it up.
Faking out 2 HK players in the process.
And so now...
and that really pulled them away with quite a big lead now at this point.
And do we know who called this timeout?
I would guess it was most likely HK, but I do not know for sure.
HK definitely wants to probably
slow down the pace of the game.
Yeah. Maybe they can't. They have been slowing down, and their scores have been slowing down.
Also, Old Saybrook seems to have been on a bit of a roll, and they just kind of wanted me to break that momentum. Get a quick little pep talk in and get all the players good.
Yeah.
Scores now at HK 34, Old Saybrook 41.
Henderson is playing aggressive with HK.
Erskine with the ball thrown to number 31. 31 trying to throw to Toby Callender. Almost grabbed by Old Saybrook, but it was caught by 40. 31 goes up for the shot, and it's no good. Wills with the rebound, and it's gonna be out of bounds.
Oh, it's just out of bounds on blue.
And it appears it's gonna be HK's ball. Subs coming on, 31 coming off, and being replaced by number 24, Darren Hiller. Erskine thrown into number 35, Toby Callender, throwing it to Wills. Wills to Hiller. Hiller now looking. Erskine throwing back to Hiller. Hiller now with a bounce pass to 40. 40 trying to throw to Wills, and it's grabbed.
Intercepted by number 24 of Old Saybrook, who have we not seen on the court before. And he just captures that ball. Passes to Henderson, takes a shot from the 3. Successful.
14 dropping back. He was wide open.
Yeah, and he was able to make that long shot.
Ball grabbed by number 40, McGoey. He's able to score 2, and now he has some foul shots. Making the score, as of now, HK 36, Old Saybrook 44.
As we can see, HK was for a second 10 points behind. Quite surprising, quite a turnaround from the first half.
It almost seems like a completely different Old Saybrook team coming out in the second half.
Definitely, and we haven't even seen that much. Well, we have seen quite a bit of Almada, but we have seen some other players starting to shine. Definitely with number 14, Henderson, and then with their substitutions, 52 and 24, have been keeping up.
Both of HK's speedsters, Hiller and Kewen, are out. Let's see if they can use their speed to their advantage. Toby with the ball going up, and that's good for 2, making the score 38-44 in favor of Old Saybrook.
Almada passes to Baker, back to Almada, who's in the paint, goes for the layup, rolls around, and rolls in. He took it and made it.
Hiller now with the ball, throwing it to Wills. Wills looking briefly at Kewen, but deciding to go for the 3. Bounces off the rim, and it's rebounded by Old Saybrook, number 2.
Number 14, Henderson takes a shot, rebounds. Oh, and there seems to be controversy over who has the ball. jump ball. The possession will be going to Old Saybrook, number 24. Number 14 takes the layup. Makes it a 10-point difference again.
HK defense seemed to just not even account for that extra guy. However, that's going to be 2 for HK.
Henderson has the ball, goes for the drive into the paint. Ooh, tries to put it up. Henderson will be taking 2 foul shots. Does not make the first. He takes the second and then rebounds, but is unsuccessful. Henderson will be taking another foul shot. And he makes this one.
It's going to be another good one for Old Saybrook. Hiller now with the ball. Seemed to be a little bit frustrated. Wills throwing to Q into 40. 40 going up, and that's good. McGoey with 2. They need to score. HK 42, Old Saybrook 49.
Number 52 to Baker. 24 takes a shot from the 3. Rebounds, and it is HK's ball.
McGoey with the rebound, throwing it to number 25, Matthew Wills. Matt driving in, giving it to Callender. Back to Wills. Wills throwing to Hiller. Hiller trying to throw to McGoey, but it's swatted. Wills now with the ball, almost making a 3. And the ball is rebounded by Old Saybrook.
After a few attempted shots by HK.
HK defense seemed to be very aggressive.
Rebounds to Old Saybrook. Henderson passes to 24. To Almada. Now Henderson's with it again. Hanging out around the outside. This is 24. To 11. To Baker. Passes back out to Henderson. They're taking their time here and just psyching out.
Only 5 seconds
down the
left
clock in this quarter. Takes the shot. Unsuccessful. Ooh. And HK throwing the ball towards the other side of the court in the last second. Quite a change since this last quarter, Wally. What do you think?
I don't know about you, but I'm really seeing that the HK players are getting really frustrated.
They appear to be getting frustrated, definitely.
And frustration is definitely not going to do them any good. If anything, it's going to hurt them a lot more than any good it could do. I don't know what good it actually could do other than maybe running a bit harder, but they seem to get frustrated, and when people get frustrated, they don't perform as well.
They just have to take one basket at a time. But what we're looking at now is Old Saybrook pulling ahead. They're currently up by 7 points. And Henderson, number 14, as a guard, has been doing so much for the team in this last quarter.
And I mean, even earlier in the first half, you really saw that he wasn't making as many points, but he was really putting his body on the line. He was really diving and just kind of being there to try to keep the ball on the court and trying to keep it out of HK hands. He's really been putting his body on the line in this game.
Yeah, and from what if you listen to us, all you hear is Henderson, Henderson, Henderson.
Or Henderson or Armada.
Yeah, but
both of them are really doing a lot of work for this Old Saybrook team.
And HK's high performance players
seem to get a little bit frustrated. McGoey now trying to go for a shot. And it's out of bounds on HK.
It'll be a blue ball.
It's going to be Old Saybrook ball.
10. Molsky around midcourt, passes to Henderson. Back to Almada.
After that foul, it's going to be an HK possession. Kewen with the throw-in. He's going to throw it to Wills. Wills back to Kewen. Kewen to Hiller. Trying to get around number 14 on Old Saybrook. Kewen now with the ball. Faking a pass to Tobe. And that's going to be a foul on Kewen.
Double dribble. Goes to Almada. Passes to 10 to Molsky to 52.
Just over 7 minutes left in this game.
Almada takes his time. Goes for the drive, he's in the paint, goes for the layup, and that is 2 points. Ooh, Old Saybrook is pulling ahead and leaving HK in the dust and scared.
McGoey now passing it to Andrew. Now Andrew makes it 2. Making the score 44-51.
11 passes to 12 to 10. 14, Henderson, who goes for a layup, which ends up being successful.
HK's ball. Kewen faking a 3 and throwing it back to 25 Wills. Kewen now actually going for the 3 and sinks it. Making the score 47 HK to Old Saybrook's 51.
The crowd goes wild, and number 11, Almada, passes it over. Back out. Henderson passes back out to 10, who takes a shot from the 3. Makes it in. Looking at...
Oh, now with the ball, throwing it to Wills. Wills driving in, taking a shot, and it goes in. Will it count? It does not count.
Almada will be with the ball. Passes to Baker. Henderson to Almada, who's right under the net. Tosses it up.
It's going to be HK possession. Go with the throw into Hiller. Hiller now passing to Kewen to get around number 14. Back to Hiller. Hiller going in and passing McGoey. It's no good. It's going to be a foul against Old Saybrook, number 14. Number 24, Darren Hiller is now going to take his foul shot. It's going to be 1-1. Ball goes up, and it bounces off the rim, and it's no good. Old Saybrook's ball.
Almada has the ball. Passes to 10, and it goes out of bounds, it appears.
A little over 5 minutes left in this game, Connor.
A little over 5
What patterns are you seeing?
I'm seeing patterns of fouls and this complete Old Saybrook change that has happened.
And the HK players are definitely getting frustrated, getting chippy with each other. Wills going up, and it's no good, but Callender with the rebound, and it's bouncing around. Wills now with the ball, goes up, and it's no good. It's going to be Old Saybrook's ball.
Caught by Baker, goes to Henderson, who's bringing it to a wide open side, passes to number 13.
Old Saybrook now really trying to run away with their lead. Let's see if HK can do anything about it. McGoey now in the paint, throwing it back to Kewen. Kewen trying to go for a three, and it's no good. Rebounded by Old Saybrook.
14 Henderson goes to 11, takes the shot, and rebounds to Kewen. But there's a foul.
It's going to be a white foul. It's going to be against number 24. That's his third foul of the night.
Almada will be taking a foul shot. First one is successful. Takes the second. It's time.
Now with Armada being able to sink both of those, Old Saybrook now has a little bit over a 10-point lead.
11 points
HK.
ahead, which has been quite the turnaround from the beginning of what we saw at the game. From this time out, we can obviously expect both teams to, with Old Saybrook wanting to secure the lead and
HK wanted to upset
the lead. Right now, there isn't any knowledge of what's going on.
So far, though, it's really shaping up to be a very interesting final 4.5 minutes of this game.
Well, definitely, and the crowd is discussing amongst themselves as well. They want to know what's going to happen. With the Darren Hiller cutout again. And maybe Hiller can be that MVP for HK that can change their pace.
Or same thing with Kewen. If the synergy between Hiller and Kewen was really working the first half. Well, it would be nice if that synergy could work again and resurge in this final quarter. It would be very beneficial for the HK basketball team.
Well, since they're both going to be back in, maybe that's the strategy.
Kewen now throwing into Hiller. Hiller taking his time getting down the court. Passing it to Wills. Wills to Kewen. Kewen now getting tripped up, and it's going to be Old Saybrook ball.
This is a 10. Goes for a layup. And the player knocks it out of bounds.
It's going to be HK's ball.
HK's ball.
Just over 4 minutes left in this game. 32 Giambonis now in for number 35, Toby Callender. Giambonis now getting the ball, throwing it to Kewen. Kewen now passing to Hiller, who was wide open, driving in, passing it out to McGoey, who takes a shot, and it's good. That's going to be good for two, making the score 49-58.
Almada will have
with a 9-point deficit.
And he will be passing it to 52. Number 10 to Henderson. Stalling for time. Baker to 10. To 14 to 11. Old Saybrook was definitely...
Giambonis with the rebound, handing it off to Wills. Wills now frantically finding someone, and it's going to be Hiller throwing it back out to McGoey. And that is good. McGoey sinking it, worth another 2 points for HK. Closing the score down to HK 51, Old Saybrook 58.
Ball will be going to Henderson, who passes to 10. Back out to 11. Unsuccessful shot. Henderson goes for a layup, and he makes it.
Hiller now has possession of the ball. Moving down the court quite quickly. Throwing to open Giambonis, who then throws it to a Wills. Wills now getting surrounded. Throwing to McGoey in the paint. Goes up and misses. Rebounded by Old Saybrook.
Number 14, Henderson has the ball. Goes for the layup. And that makes it in as well.
That's going to make the score HK 51. Old Saybrook 62 with just a little bit under 2.5 minutes left in the game.
Whatever their strategy was, try to close this gap, it's not doing what they expected.
It worked briefly, but
Henderson has a foul shot, and is successful in the first.
Hiller now with the ball, throwing to McGoey in the paint, throwing it back out to Hiller. Hiller to Giambonis. Giambonis trying to make a three, and it's good. Make the score, HK 54, Old Saybrook 62. That's going to be a timeout from HK.
Timeout from HK with 2 minutes left. They are 8 points behind, and Old Saybrook is 8 points in the lead.
Right now, it's pretty much a 3-possession game. So with 2 minutes, there's a lot that can happen at the end of this game, but let's just say with 3 possessions, HK needs to start moving.
Even if HK makes some shots, if Old Saybrook can get those rebounds, they will want to hold on to that ball.
Definitely. So as I said, with the 3 possessions, HK's going to want to start moving pretty quick to be able to close down this gap, because you know that Old Saybrook's going to want to take their time when they get the ball and kind of slowly try to drain out the clock.
Yeah, definitely with the shot clock, they can't rely on playing defense for at least 30 seconds.
They can play defense if they really wanted to the remaining 2 minutes, but the HK really needs to start getting aggressive.
Yes, definitely, and they're running low on the time. This is quite a timeout of importance, and they're ready to come back. The first buzzer.
Whatever plan that the HK coaching staff has planned up, it's going to be interesting to watch it unfold with these last 2 minutes and 4 seconds left in this game.
And we can see if Old Saybrook will do anything different as well. Old Saybrook has possession. Number 11, Almada.
They playing real tough defense on the Old Saybrook, but number 11, Armada, was able to draw a foul off Kewen.
Yikes, they will now be able to take another foul shot.
Number 35, Toby Callender's now in for 34, Zach Hoffman. That's also going to be Kewen's number 5's second foul of the night.
Number 11 takes the first shot. It makes it.
First shot is good. That's going to make a 10-point lead.
Tries the second.
That second, now it's going to be a 4-possession game with under 2 minutes now.
HK has the ball.
Will is passing it to Hiller. Hiller now throwing to McGoey in the paint, back to Kewen. Kewen trying to drive, but he's getting pushed out. That's going to be a foul against Old Saybrook. Kewen's going to be able to take his shots. Number 34, Zach Kaufman now on for number 35, Toby Callender. And 11 is now on the court. Number 11, Alec Erskine. Kewen getting ready, going up. And it is good.
It's now
Let's get back
10-point
down
difference.
to a 10-point difference. Kewen, however, has another shot. Let's see if he can make it to a 9-point difference. Goes up and is no good. Ball is rebounded. After a quick foul, the ball is now going to stay within Old Saybrook's possession.
With a minute 47 left. Oh, free throws.
35, Toby Callender now in for number 34, Zach Kaufman. They seem to be switching those two out in quite a bit in the...
Neither have had much of a chance to demonstrate
and
why they should be in.
the Den does not seem to appreciate that.
Number 52. Old Saybrook takes the shot.
First one is good.
Brings it back up to an 11-point difference.
just
not
no
making the second, but it's
good.
rebounded to HK.
HK's ball, Kewen flying down the sideline, throwing to McGoey in the paint, going up for a shot. It is good for 2 and a foul against Old Saybrook. Now it's only going to be a 9-point difference, and McGoey now has a chance to close that gap down even farther.
Yes, there is now going to be more foul shots. But what we're looking at is a lot of team fouls.
And with that layup now, it's been closed down to a 2-possession game. Ball's now in Old Saybrook's hands after a missed free throw.
Another foul. We'll be able to score on the line for 1-1.
Armada going to try to increase the lead. Marta's got 2.
First one is successful. 10-point difference again. But the clock is only down to 1:31. Almada takes the second. Rebounds to Toby Callender.
Bounces off the rim, rebounded by Toby Callender, throwing it to Wills. Wills flying down the court, trying desperately to score, throwing it to Callender. Callender going up, missing, rebounding to himself, and ends up getting the point. That's going to make the score 59-16-7, and it's going to be another HK timeout.
So what we saw there was a quite on and off of the 10-point difference, but what we're looking at is now HK was able to get that layup outside of foul shot points, and they were able to bring the score down to only a difference of 6. Sorry, 8.
With a minute and 19 seconds left in the game, Connor, what do you expect seeing?
I expect an attempt from HK, and as much as you want to see some big changes, we don't know what's gonna. We can't bet on anything.
Both teams now retaking the court. I expect this last minute, about a minute and a half, to be hardest basketball that some of these kids have played.
Definitely, I can agree.
Especially for HK trying to close down this gap.
Sprinting back and forth already. It just proves it. Old Saybrook is trying to hold possession of that ball. Ooh, and now they're in a deadlock with Old Saybrook being able to do whatever they want. Just passing with a game of hot potato, or monkey in the middle with the HK players. Down to a minute and 1 second, so it's 30 seconds. Nothing.
That's going to be number 5, Andrew Kewen's 3rd foul of the night. Armada with the free throws.
And that will be another point for Old Saybrook.
Armada now is going to, if he makes this one, is going to increase it to a 10-point lead. And now it's going to be a 10-point lead.
It's a 10-point lead for Old Saybrook. But HK will have the ball.
Number 24, Darren Hillard throwing down the court to Giambonis. Giambonis back to
left.
Hillard. Giambonis almost taking a 3, but under pressure, throwing it to Kewen. Kewen now going for his 3, and it's no good. Rebounded by Old Saybrook. Tough defense, though, by number 40, McGoey.
Almada will just be walking the ball. Oh, actually is trying to keep passing. They're not staying that close to the net. Old Saybrook is just letting themselves.
With just under 30 seconds left in this game, and it being a four possession game in between, I don't know if HK can make a comeback, but you never know.
10
They
points
still have
in
timeouts.
23 seconds is...
Hiller now throwing it to Old Saybrook. 15 seconds left in the game.
Number 14 Henderson
After a tough night, this may be it.
will be standing to run down the clock for the last 5 seconds. HK is accepting their defeat.
And that is going to be game. Final score, HK 59, Old Saybrook 69.
And it was close.
It was close for the first 3 quarters, but Old Saybrook really was able to kind of pull away in this last quarter.
And HK led for the entire first half.
But at the end of the half by 1 point. But yeah, they were able to lead by 2 to 3 points consistently. It's just they were very back and forth. They were very even matched in the first 3 quarters.
And so, what do we think happened?
Just simply from our point of view, it seems that HK just kind of started getting frustrated. Both the coaching staff with the refs and the players themselves. They seemed to start getting frustrated with the calls and just getting frustrated with the situation, and that really did not help their cause. It really, as you can see, it really hurt them.
With their lack of confidence, it may seem they
Yeah, when HK first came in this first half, they seemed to have a lot of confidence. They trusted their shots, they trusted the threes, and they really dominated that first half. But for whatever reason, they came out and they were lacking that confidence they had in that first half, and they ended up getting down on themselves, and they seemed to get frustrated. And Old Saybrook just kind of kept playing, and they had trust in the system, and it really helped them out by keeping faith.
Yeah, even with the home team advantage with HK, Old Saybrook was able to pull out in that second half and bring a 10-point lead that they had in that last quarter and keep it there. They kept it there until the end of the game. So from that, we're looking at the scores for both teams. For Old Saybrook will now be 5-3.
And HK being 4-4.
4-4. So as we both know, there's only one winner that can come out of this.
And that's going to be Old Saybrook. They came out on top tonight.
So we'd like to thank our in-part sponsor, Zip06, and I'm Connor Shute.
I'm Wally Sample.
And we are signing off.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
Have a good night.